Hey you guys, welcome to my Venus through sign series. This is for Venus in Libra. So if in your birth chart Venus is in Libra, this is for you. This can also apply to those of you that have Libra as your 7th house Lord. And if you don't know how to find your Venus, I left a video about that. It's in the description box below, so make sure to check it out. I want to thank you guys for liking, sharing, and subscribing to my channel. I ask that you all please continue to do so. And remember, these are general readings, so they may or may not resonate, but hopefully they do give you some clarity. So let's go ahead and get started here. We have the central issue, heart of the matter, as the Queen of Cups. We have the Two of Pentacles, Strength, Three of Cups, Ten of Wands, Six of Swords, the Devil, and the Moon. Okay, so central issue is that I feel like someone is literally juggling between Leo and a water sign. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. But keep in mind though that with the Venus readings, or any readings for that matter, you know, it can be any sign. But it does look like someone is juggling between two different people, two different situations. I also feel like someone is juggling with matters of the heart versus, I don't know, you know, matters of the heart versus society, or matters of the heart versus family. I feel that someone is tempted. Someone is it's getting more and more difficult for someone to hold back with how they feel. Like they've been very good at it. Maybe someone's been very good at covering up their feelings. Very good at ignoring you, or you are very good at ignoring someone. Something is like staring you right in the face though. And I feel that at some point there's going to be, like, someone's going to drop the ball. Someone might goof up and make a mistake and reveal how they're feeling. I also feel like someone is making the same mistakes over and over again. It also might take someone to have a couple of drinks to loosen up and kind of express how they're feeling for another person. I feel too like someone, you know, this is them finally opening up, or having following their intuition, and just kind of, you know, socializing. You might have to, if you're an introvert or something, maybe you're getting out of your comfort zone. This could be you going out on a date. I do though get a situation where someone is still trying to hold on to something. Someone is still, I feel like there is some sort of pressure or a burden in regards to one's feelings. I just kind of feel too like there's going to be a breakthrough. There could be something going on where there is an obsession going on, and someone is just like, I can't. It's like the more you try to hold back how you feel about somebody, the worse it gets. So I feel at some point, you know, someone is going to have to give. Something's got to give, basically. I see someone coming off as temptation. You might be viewing someone as temptation, or they're viewing you as temptation. But you're drawn to this energy, or someone is drawn to you. Eventually someone is giving in. They're like, let me explore this. Let me see where this goes. Let me stop fighting my desires. This can also be about following your dreams, your dream job might be something that deals with a lot of toxic people or codependent energy. Maybe you're a nurse, someone who's very nurturing, or a doctor, but you know, you're around a lot of sick people or people who need you, who need people who could be handicapped, or they just need assistance. And it's your job to nurture them. You feel like you're drawn to that. You're like, I feel like this is my calling. I feel like these people need me. If you are an entertainer, you're some sort of singer, you know, because again, we're going with the cups, this emotional energy. Maybe you're a singer and you're like, oh, you know, I really want to remain pious, or, you know, I'm a spiritual person, but I know that that lifestyle comes with this type of energy. It's going to be drugs, it's going to be sex, it's going to be sacrifices. I heard about Illuminati. You know, you got all these conspiracy theory things. Really not conspiracy. Some of that, they just don't talk about some of that stuff. But it's just like, you know, like I know what's at stake, but you're going towards it anyway. You're like, you know what? This is my calling. You know, maybe this is what I'm destined to do. This is the contract that I agreed to. So you're going towards this situation here. I know some of you are like, oh my God, I'm running away. All that I can say is that for some of you, it's not always as bad as it seems. It's not as bad as it is depicted, because it looks like you are quite aware of what you're entering here. You're quite aware of it. But something is telling you to go there. Maybe there is a lesson that you need to learn. Sometimes, now, if this is some sort of abusive relationship, then you know, of course, no, you know, that's not something that I'm telling you need to go towards or get back into. But you might need to understand why you are, if you're in this situation, maybe you do need to examine it and face your fears instead of avoiding it. That will help you understand how to escape it or get away from it once you understand the lesson. Some of you might keep asking, why do I keep getting drawn to these type of relationships where people are just narcissists, or people are drawing my energy, especially if, you know, you're a light worker and people feed off of your energy. You might need to understand why you keep getting into this relationship. So it might not necessarily mean that you're going to enter something that is toxic, but you need to understand why this is your karma. You know, so start researching and studying astrology. Look at those placements. I know too, sometimes especially if you're Leo rising and you have Saturn as both your 6th and 7th lord, you could have some sort of karmic debt to your people who happen to be your business partners or your marriage partners, because it rules. Saturn, the planet of karma, is ruling both the house of your spouse and the house of your servants. The 6th house is about, you know, servants. So it's like your spouse is also maybe like a client, but it's like you owe that to them, or there's some sort of debt. So there may be a need to just kind of understand like why you have this karma, so that you can, so that it works better. Doesn't necessarily make it go away, but it makes it easier to deal with when you understand your journey. I also feel that either you or someone that you're headed towards, again, this is like depression. I feel like someone is going to be an emotional drain, or they have some sort of codependency. So it's like you don't just get them, but you also get their toxic family or their toxic baby mom or baby's father. So it's like a package deal. Maybe the person is okay, but their circumstances, they're a package deal. So it's like, know that getting involved with them means that you have to get involved with their karmic backlog here. So yeah, it's like we get along amazing, but unfortunately they have a baby's mama that's always driving us crazy, or they have an intrusive mother-in-law, or an intrusive family, or their whole family are a bunch of alcoholics, or these people maybe suffer from depression. Now, when I say someone suffers from depression, you guys try to refrain from making jokes about that. You know, it could be something serious. You know, that's a real thing when someone has anxiety about something. This also could be someone who has OCD or paranoia. Maybe someone who's consistently having to meditate or medicate to suppress these feelings. But the thing is that these feelings shouldn't be suppressed. They should be dealt with. So if this is you, your energy, maybe you're that person, you're like, well, I'm the one with the demons. I'm the one with all this shadow energy. Then you need to understand it instead of avoiding it or running away from it. But you know, the Six of Swords is moving towards that. I also get this as the person that you are connecting with or getting ready to connect with is your shadow side. They're here to help you realize that you do have abandonment issues. You guys are supposed to like help each other face your darkness together. Sometimes it's difficult though, because if this is about trust issues, a lot of times you guys come together and then you separate because they trigger your anxieties. And it's like anxieties really stem from some sort of traumatic experience that maybe you had as a child, or something being carried over from a past life that you don't remember, but it's still in your DNA. So whenever you're around these triggers, you don't know why you have this fear, but you do. You know, like someone who's severely afraid of heights. Maybe someone fell off of a cliff in a previous life. Someone who is severely afraid of drowning or swimming. It's maybe because they drowned in a past life. So if you have a fear of swimming, it's like, hey, you need to face that fear. You need to get it done with. Learn how to swim. If you have a severe fear of flying, maybe because you already died in a plane crash in your previous life. I always think of Richie Valens. I don't know, maybe you're a reincarnation of Richie Valens, you know, from the movie La Bamba. Or Buddy Holly. Hell, he died in a plane crash too. But maybe you're some sort of reincarnation of these energies. Not necessarily famous people, but just somebody who died in a plane crash. So it's like, get on that flight. You know, you need to face your fears. Maybe this person abandoned you in a previous life and left you, you know, feeling like, oh, they're going to abandon me again. It's like, no, they're not going to abandon you this time. You just need to deal with that energy. You also, astrology wise, need to look at your North Node and what it means, what, you know, why it's sitting in the sign that it's sitting in and the house that it's sitting in. Now, to know the house that your North Node is sitting in, you really need to know your birth time, your exact birth time, because it makes a difference. So like, for instance, if your North Node was, because your North Node is what you came here to do, it's the karma you can't escape. So let's say, for instance, your North Node is in the 3rd house. You might feel compelled or be obsessed with communicating or talking, or writing. You know, it deal, because the 3rd house is all about, 3rd house matters about communication. Maybe you also have some sort of weird obsession with your neighbors, or your siblings. Maybe you always wanted siblings, but you don't have any. You're like, well, I feel like I need siblings. Maybe you just feel the need to nurture your relationship with your siblings. If your North Node is in the 4th house, maybe you have an obsession with home matters, being at home, being a mother. Maybe there's something unusual about your home life. Maybe you're introverted. If your North Node is in the 5th house, maybe you have an obsession with your child, whether it is a good obsession or a bad obsession, but you're always obsessing about your child, or you're always obsessing about fame or a hobby. You're always wanting to, so the North Node kind of shows you, what you are obsessed with. And there's a need for you to look to that. Now, when it comes to synastry, if there's a love interest that you have, you need to look and see if your North Node or your South Node is hitting any of their personal planets, because that can be a telltale of your relationship in a past life with this person. Ooh, I didn't mean to talk that long. We didn't even get to the 2nd row yet, but so I feel like you guys are connecting with a soulmate, but it is coming off as something that is hidden or secretive, like you're trying to sneak around and communicate with this person, or you're sending indirect messages with this person. Maybe you're planning on sending a private message with this person. There's also something that needs to be surrendered or sacrificed. So you may need to, in order to be with this person, risk something or surrender or sacrifice something, a part of your life. Maybe you have to relocate so that you don't have to be in a long distance relationship. Maybe it's about coming together as a family. Like I was saying earlier, maybe this person comes with toxic energy, not necessarily them, but their family. That's the sacrifice you have to make. It's like, I really don't want to be with this person, but I feel like this is the love of my life. I guess that's the sacrifice I need to make. I also feel too that this is something in regards to you needing to see something from a different perspective. You really need to understand your love life, your love interests from a different perspective. Something may be revealed to you during sleep too. Sometimes I see these sleeping cards together next to the 7 of Swords. It makes me think of someone who knows how to astral project, or do some sort of astral traveling, because it looks like someone is doing some sort of spying during sleep or meditation. I talked about this too in the singles video, something about self-sabotage and you needing to understand your 12th house so that you can confront what it is that you might be doing unconsciously to sabotage your relationships, to sabotage your job, to sabotage yourself, period. So whatever the sign is that rules the 12th house, you need to look at the shadow side of that sign. Look at the negative qualities of that sign and know that that must be something that you're doing that ruins things, that ruins relationships. Like you always do something that, gets in the way. You get in the way of yourself some type of way. So look to your 12th house to see what you could be doing to do that. Now, because I do see 7 of Swords next to the 3 of Cups, I do see someone entering a relationship. There is temptation. So someone is in a relationship already. So even if this person is like, I'm not happy, I don't want to be in this relationship, this person is still in a relationship, you're entering it anyway. You're sneaking around and you guys are it's like a third party situation. Now, if you feel completely clueless, then I'm warning you, whoever you're dealing with has some sort of secret then. They are probably not telling, they're juggling. They might be telling you one thing when actually something else is going on. I don't like seeing the Devil and the 7 of Swords in the same reading because I get someone who's a liar A liar and a thief. Now, speaking of someone who's a liar and a thief, the only positive I can pull from that is that you could be dealing with someone with a background. So someone who has been a thief in their past. Look at Malcolm X, though. You know that he was a liar. You were a liar and a thief. That was my Elijah Muhammad impression. But no, seriously, it's like you could have been a liar and a thief in your past, or dealing with someone who used to steal, dealing with someone who has committed forgery of some sort. You might be dealing with a criminal, someone who has a criminal background, someone who's spent time around criminals. So just know that maybe they're protecting that. Maybe they don't want to share that with you, or maybe they need to make sure they can trust you, that you're not going to judge them for having a criminal past. Maybe they're like, I'm not like that anymore. I've changed. I've turned my life around, but I can't share this with them just yet because they might judge me. So that's the positive side. To me, I say positive because if someone to me came to me like that and they were open and told me about their background, I would be open depending on the connection. Now, if I ain't really feeling you that much in the first place, then, that might be a pass. But if I'm really feeling somebody and they want to open up to me about their criminal history, I don't want to judge them. That's me though. But you might be like, no, that's not going to work. And that's okay too. But I'm just trying to give you some sort of heads up about what's going on. Now, see, these energies here are just very positive to me. I see you connecting with someone who you can have a family with, or it's like the two of you together it's like a family. It's like you found your true love. You found a soulmate. You found someone that you could be your complete and utter self with. You guys are like the moon and the stars together. You get all starry-eyed when this person comes around. Not only that, but you feel a telepathic connection with this person. You feel that you guys can have your own inner conversation without other people noticing. This is someone who's going to give you all the love and attention that you want, and you probably will give it to them too, because you guys get each other. There could also be something about your sons, not children, sons as in your sun sign, that combine really well together. So maybe your sons conjunct, meaning that you would be the same sun sign. Or maybe there's a trine. So if you were a Leo sun, this person would be maybe like a Sagittarius sun, or an Aries sun. So something about your sons could be getting along really well. That brings about this feeling of completion. You're going to feel that something is too good to be true, so just embrace it. Don't try to dismiss it. This is something, receiving some sort of blessing. The universe is like, hey, we're showering you with everything that you asked for. This is what you asked for. Something may also be a blessing in disguise. You might be thinking that something is a bad thing for you and it's really a good thing for you. So be open to what the universe has in store for you. And I feel like you should trust it because I'm seeing you being happy. I also get the energy of someone who's been communicating through sleep or through dreams as well. Somebody has been trying to fight this connection. Oh God. See, I was trying to wrap it up because it's getting too long. You're being challenged on your beliefs with this love relationship or whatever the type of job it is. Maybe it's some sort of moral decision, or you're questioning how would society view you. You're like, this is outside of, I'm going to be called out. People are going to judge me for this relationship. People are going to judge me for this type of job, but this is your calling. This is some sort of unfinished business that you have from a past life. This is, even if you don't believe in past lives, I still feel like there's unfinished business with you and a person that you're connecting with. There could be something very opposite about the two of you. I want to say unorthodox. Something is coming off as unorthodox. Which is another reason why something starts off in secrecy. I also feel like this is about, aside from relationships, I see this as someone having a spiritual calling. Someone is supposed to be a leader or a teacher. Someone is supposed to give back to society through sharing esoteric knowledge or sharing your gift, any type of gift. Even to, like, if your gift is song or music or filmmaking, people change lives. You know, artistry is a very high level language where you are communicating with a muse or a spirit, like you're channeling messages from spirit to make these images, to speak certain words, to write that dialogue, to tell that story. All of that stuff is channeling. Even like people who are artists or clothing designers, you know, when you have an idea, you're like, I had a vision. I saw this design and I must see it down the runway, or I must see people wearing this. You somehow are turning your craft into something spiritual. Your craft is something spiritual that inspires the masses, I feel. So something is your calling, and it's time for you to stop avoiding it. This keeps happening or returning because you haven't addressed something or you haven't dealt with it. So there's a need for you to answer that you're calling. If you've been avoiding a person, I feel like you need to have closure. You need to have that conversation. If it's somebody you're like, I don't want to be with that person. That person's not for me. I feel like before you can move on to someone new, you need to have closure with this person. So it doesn't mean that you have to be in a relationship, but you probably need to have a conversation. You probably need to forgive them. Speaking of forgiveness, I'm getting energy of someone who is now ready for commitment. Maybe someone was avoiding it at first. Now they're ready. This is someone who is now open to the idea of marriage or open to the idea of dating. Maybe you were someone who was too preoccupied with your work. Maybe you were just trying to focus on yourself and not love, but now maybe something happened and a whole new world has been awakened within you, and you're like, all of a sudden you remember. This is about remembering what it's like, remembering something. Something's being activated, and you're like, I remember what it's like to be in love again. I'm open for it. So I feel too like you have a spiritual contract with somebody. See, you got Judgment, almost like Venus in Virgo. Whoever you're connecting with has the potential for marriage. So someone is coming off as marriage potential. I see you having a family with somebody, but it's like you're fighting a connection at first. You guys need to get out of your heads. Stop being egotistical. Compromise. There needs to be adjustments made to this connection. If this is a job situation, I feel like there needs to be compromise. You know, you need to find a balance. You need to find a way to stand out, or you need to find a way to get your voice heard without stepping on toes, and it's possible. But for the most part, I feel like this is some sort of love connection that is being fought off. And two, somebody is fighting, is not open to the idea of children. I see a child trying to come through. I don't know who's watching this that's going to start crying, talking about there's that spirit baby again. Yes, somebody, I see a spirit baby, especially if you can have children. If you're not super opposed to having children, maybe you don't want children, but something about this person coming into your life and you're like, maybe one more, maybe, you know. So even if you're opposed of the idea of having a child, it almost looks like there is another, you guys were a family in a previous life, mother, father, and child. And you guys have some sort of spiritual contract with the Justice card to be used as a vessel for this child. Or if it's not a child, you guys came together, you guys have some sort of spiritual contract or agreement to birth a business. You guys maybe are supposed to be business partners. So Be open to whoever's coming towards you. And I'm going to go ahead and close out. This is probably going to be the longest video out of all of the Venus videos. And no, I don't have Venus in Libra. But thank you guys for watching. Many blessings to you.